right here, buddy. Let's continue. He said, well then, shall we sin? Because we are not under the law. Shall we go and sin? Because we are not under the Levitical law or the Levitical priesthood law, like the sacrificial law, because we ain't got to sacrifice the dove, the pigeon, right? The veal, right? The goat, the sheep. Is that because we are not under the sacrificial law? Is that because we ain't got to pay no tithe? Does it mean we just go out there and we be sinning and breaking the law, the commandment of the Most High, and doing all type of filthy and abominable thing? Oh, we got to go home and eat shrimp, pork, camel toe, all type of nonsense? No, man. Right? Let's read, say, what then shall we sin? Because we are not under the law, but under grace? God, Yahweh forbid. Paul said, no, man. Confounded, man. All right, let's continue. Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourself servant to obey, his servant ye are to whom ye obey. There we go. So let me break it down to you. So what is Paul saying? Paul said, listen, man. If you're a woman and you choose to be a prostitute, you want to sell your body, you want to do wickedness, guess what? Paul said, guess what? You're giving your body, your members, right? Unto who? Unto what? Prostitution. Paul said, listen, then you serving who? Satan. All right? If you're a brother, you're a sister, and in your mind, you're thinking about killing your baby, you're thinking about aborting the baby in your belly, guess what? Paul said, you know who you're serving? Satan. Whosoever you obey, whosoever you obey, if you obey man instead of obeying the Most High, guess what? That means you obeying man, you worshiping Satan, you obeying Satan. You don't believe that, you don't understand. Let's go in the book of Acts, man. Let's go in the book of Acts quick, all right? Let me bring it out quick. Right here, man. This is the book of Acts, chapter 5, and verses 29. Let's read it, man. Because whosoever you obey, or you yielding your member, your body, your eyes, right, your nose, your ears, that's whom serving you are, man. So if you're giving yourself over to sin, that means you're serving your boss is who? Satan. If you're pushing for weakness, right? If you're pushing for evil, guess what? Who are you serving? Who you yielding your members, your body unto? You yielding your member, your body unto who? Satan. Now if you keep in the commandment, you keep the Shabbat, you're about to keep what? The day of Simon. The day of Simon on the 23rd of this month. The 23rd of the second month. You got to keep in mind, we are not literally talking about the month of May apart. No. Right? The month is set and defined based on the what? The lunar cycle. The lunar cycle. You got to keep in mind. Keep in mind. All right? Let's read it. This is the book of Acts chapter 5 and verse 29. And it reads, then Peter and the other apostle answered and said, we ought to obey Yahweh rather than men. There we go. We ought to, you have, brother and sister, ye so-called African American, ye so-called Mexican, Salvadoreño, Latino, Tico, Guatemalteco, Peruano, Boliviano, right? So-called Nigerian, the Ghanaian, and the list goes on and on. You have, and you must obey the Most High. Now, if you choose not to obey the Most High, and you choose to obey Satan, hey, it's up to you. But keep in mind, the Most High is going to buffet you. The Most High is going to judge you. It's plain and simple. It's plain and simple. All right? It's very simple. It's not complicated. Whoever you want to serve, whosoever you want to worship, that's whom you yielding your body and your member to. All right? Let's read it again. He said, this is the book of Acts chapter 5 and verse 29. Then Peter and the other apostle answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than men. There we go, man. They want to obey men, but they don't want to obey God. They don't want to obey God. When the politicians tell them do this and do that, they'll do it, man. Their herd led to the slaughter. They don't even realize that. Some of them don't care. They don't care. But anything the Most High say, they don't want to do it. Anything that the Most High say, they don't want to obey the Most High. But they want to obey men, man. They want to obey wicked men in high places, man. They want to obey Pharaoh, man. Let's go in the book of Acts. Still Acts chapter 4. And we're going to say verses 19. Let's go over there. This is the book of Acts chapter 4 and verse 19. But Peter and John answered and said unto them, whether it be right in the sight of Yahweh to hearken unto you more than unto God, judge ye, man. So who are we supposed to listen to? Are we supposed to obey the Most High, or we got to obey or listen to Joe Laden? Who? Are we supposed to obey the Most High and keep his commandment, or we got to follow the wicked in power, the wicked in suit and tie, and go do the foolishness, the madness, and the nonsense, the abominable thing? No, man. You cannot all pray like that. You cannot serve the Most High like that. Or you're going to worship men, or you're going to worship the Most High. Or you're going to worship the Most High, or you're going to worship Satan. You got to pick one side. All right? Let's get back in the book of Romans. This is the book of Romans, right? Salakia. This is the book of Romans, chapter 6, and verse 16. It reads, know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servant to obey, he servant ye are to whom ye obey. So whosoever you obey, whether it be for good or evil, that's the person that you're serving and you're worshiping. It's a whether of sin unto death. So if you're sinning, Paul said, it's going to be death. If you're sinning, you're going to die. Death. And don't think about just talking about just you're going to die just today, it's over. No. It's talking about even after the day of judgment. Even after the day of judgment. Okay? Okay? It's a whether of sin unto death or obedience unto righteousness. So when you obey, that's righteousness. When you obey the Most High, when you keep the commandment, that's righteousness. When you repent, that's righteousness. That's what is righteousness. When you obey and you keep the commandment of the Most High, that obedience unto righteousness. But when you refuse and you want to do whatever you want to do, you want to do as Satan told you, do as thou willest. That's Satan's slogan. Satan do whatever you want to do. Satan say you can do whatever you want to do. You want to go back and live in Sodom and Gomorrah, and Satan said you can go and do it. Satan said you want to kill your baby, and we make sure we give you the right to kill your baby. You want to do abortion, we're going to make sure that we pass a law for the woman to go kill the baby. You see, who you want to serve? The Most High, or you want to serve Satan? You got to pick one side. You can't serve both at the same time, man. He said, but Yahweh be thanked that ye were the servant of sin. So Paul, he's addressing our forefathers that were living in the midst of sin. And now they repent. Now they repented. They be born again. John 3 and 3. John 3 and 5. They be born again. They were living in the midst of sin. Where? In Italy. Right? In the land known as Italy today. They were living in the midst of sin. But when Paul and many of the brother gospel, the good news unto them, guess what? They repent. So Paul got to check them. Paul got to check them out to make sure that, okay, some of them see going off. Some of them want to go back to their own vomit. So Paul, he got to check them out. Let's read. He said, but Yahweh be thanked that ye were the servant of sin, but ye have obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine which was delivered you. Right? There we go. Being then made free from sin, so you be made free from sin. By the blood of who? Amashiach Yahawashi, man. You be made free from sin. You stop breaking the Shabbat. You stop celebrating pagan Mother Day. Like, it's coming, I don't know when, this Sunday, because I don't keep track of those things anymore. Right? Right? But we know, I've seen the move at my work where they're setting up flowers, setting up chocolate, setting up, gifts, all type of madness to seduce blacks, Latino, and Native Indian, man. To seduce the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian, man. They're setting up this thing right here. Meanwhile, they're telling you there will be a food shortage. If there will be a food shortage, why you are not telling the people to save up money? Why are you not telling the people to prepare spiritually? Tell the brother and the sister to prepare spiritually. The job of, if your government do love you, if your government really, really cares about you, if your politician that really, really cares about you, they should be coming on the TV with the Bible. Joe Biden should be on the TV with his Bible, right? With his advisor, with the secretary of this and that. They all should be holding the Bible and going to the Bible and breaking it down, man. Telling you, you know what? Since the famine is coming, we want you to be prepared spiritually. Ye so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian, man. But Joe Biden, he won't do that. For Joe Biden, he's working for who? Satan. He's working for Satan, man. Joe Biden was set up by who? Satan, man. The Most High told Satan, put Joe Biden right there. Just take Donald Trump up for right now and put Joe Biden right there. Because I want my Bible prophecy to be fulfilled. You see what I'm saying? So this is serious right here, man. So if really, Joe Biden love ye so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian, ye so-called African American, your president throughout the fucking of this earth, if they really love you, guess what? They should be on the TV with the Bible, letting you know, bro, hey, ye so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian, guess what? You're the Israelite. So you need to prepare spiritually. But guess what? They will not tell you that. Because guess what? They are not for your turn, man. They pray for your destruction. When you go in the book of Psalm chapter 2, you can read about it. You go in the book of Psalm chapter 83, you can read about it. Right? You go in the book of Genesis chapter 27, you can read about it. You go in the book of Genesis chapter 25, you can read about it. Genesis 25, they were already fighting. Jacob and Esau were already fighting, even before they were born, man. So don't give me that lie. Don't deceive the people believing, well, everything will be fine. Guess what? You take a look these past 3 days, right? The market, right? The stock market in New York or in the whole Babylon the Great is crashing, is falling every day, man. I just got a news from Smart News that I said, well, the Dow just plunged 1,000 points again, man. So guess what's going to happen to your retirement money? Your 401k, right? All your retirement money that you waiting up on, guess what? Who knows? They may go through out the window next month, man. They may go through out the window in 2 months. Who knows, man? Only the Most High know, man. Only the Most High know, man. Your 401k, your retirement, whatever you think you invest, I'm saving money from. Guess what? You might not see that money. Maybe it's going to go through all the smoke, man. Maybe Esau use it to smoke, man. Esau just going to finish burn all your labor, man. Your hard-working money, man. Esau blow everything up, man. Because Esau is so irresponsible, man. The devil is so irresponsible, man. They destroy everything.
¿Quieres amigo? Amigo, ¿quieres una palabra?
Sí.
Vení.
See, that's the thing. They are not warning you. Are they warning you to repent? You got to prepare spiritually. Though you prepare physically and you don't keep the commandment, you are not prepared spiritually, you're going to fail. Whether you believe it or not, you're going to fail. Ye so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian. You're going to fail. If you prepare physically and you ain't prepared spiritually, you're going to fail. Yes, you're going to fail. No one told you that yet, right? Did you hear that in the Christian church when you went to church last Sunday? Did you learn that if you don't prepare spiritually, actually you're going to fail physically in both ways, man? Because you are not prepared spiritually. You are only prepared physically. And preparation physically, it won't do you no good. It won't do you no good. So